There are few stories in maritime history as chilling, as haunting, and as completely mystifying as that of the Mary Celeste. Imagine this, an empty ship drifting silently across the Atlantic. The wind tugs gently at its sails, the helm turns slightly with each wave, and the only sound is the creaking of wood and the hiss of seawater brushing against the hull. Inside, the crew's belongings are untouched. The cargo remains intact, meals are still in the galley. But there's no one aboard, not a single soul. It's as if the crew simply vanished into thin air. This is not the plot of a ghost story. This really happened. And nearly 150 years later, we still don't know why. Let's rewind to where it all began. It's November 7, 1872. The Mary Celeste, a sturdy two-masted brigantine, sets sail from New York Harbor, bound for Genoa, Italy. She carries a cargo of 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, highly flammable but securely stored. The captain, Benjamin Briggs, is a man of reputation. Calm, devout, and experienced, he had made many successful voyages before. He brings along his wife Sarah and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia. Along with them are 7 crewmen, all hand-picked and trusted. There is no sign of tension, no forewarning of what's to come. To them, it's just another routine voyage across the Atlantic. For over 2 weeks, nothing seems out of the ordinary. The last entry in the ship's log is dated November 24th. It notes calm seas, nothing alarming. The ship is about 400 nautical miles west of the Azores. That's the last anyone ever hears from the Mary Celeste. Then on December 4th, the British ship Dei Gratia, following a similar route, spots a vessel drifting aimlessly. As they draw closer, they recognize it as the Mary Celeste. But something's off, her sails are partially set and in poor condition. The ship isn't sinking, but it's moving erratically like something or someone has let go of the wheel. Captain Morehouse of the Dei Gratia, who happens to be a friend of Briggs, sends men to investigate. What they find defies explanation. There's no one on board, not a single crew member, not the captain, not his family. The lifeboat is missing. The cargo of alcohol is mostly untouched. The ship's food stores are well stocked. The crew's clothing, boots, even the captain's sword are all in place. There's no blood, no signs of violence, no broken furniture, no signs of panic. The ship's log ends abruptly, with no indication of trouble. It's as if everyone simply stepped off the ship into the unknown. So, what happened? That question has tormented investigators, historians, and enthusiasts for over a century. Theories began to emerge almost immediately, each one trying to make sense of the impossible. One of the earliest was mutiny. Perhaps the crew turned on Captain Briggs. Maybe tempers flared and violence erupted, but this theory doesn't hold much weight. There were no signs of a struggle. The ship's interior was neat. And if the crew had mutinied, why would they abandon a perfectly functioning ship and leave all valuables behind? Another theory, piracy. But again, the ship's valuable cargo was untouched. Personal belongings remained. Pirates usually plunder. This ship was not looted. Others have suggested a far more terrifying idea. What if the crew feared the cargo itself? The barrels of industrial alcohol were tightly sealed, but some were found to be empty or damaged. This led to one of the more plausible theories, that alcohol fumes were leaking below deck. Perhaps the crew feared an explosion, especially if they noticed a strange smell or heard an ominous sound. In a panic, they may have abandoned the ship temporarily, planning to return once it was safe. But what if something went wrong? What if the rope connecting the lifeboat snapped in the wind? What if they were lost at sea, watching helplessly as the Mary Celeste drifted away without them. Then there are the natural causes. Could a massive waterspout or rogue wave have hit the ship? Maybe a sudden seaquake or shifting cargo caused the crew to believe the vessel was in danger, or perhaps they were taken by the sea in an instant. Yet the ship was found largely undamaged and still seaworthy. Over time, more fantastic theories took root. Sea monsters, aliens, the Bermuda Triangle, even though the ship wasn't anywhere near it. These ideas make for compelling fiction, but there is no evidence to support them. Still, they speak to the unsettling silence that surrounds this case. Interestingly, the Mary Celeste didn't just disappear after this event. After being recovered, it was eventually refitted and used again. But the ship never seemed to escape its curse. It went through a series of unsuccessful voyages and suspicious incidents until it was intentionally wrecked in 1885 as part of an insurance fraud scheme. The ship's final fate was ignoble abandoned on a reef off the coast of Haiti. But the mystery it left behind continued to grow. Modern researchers have returned to the case with advanced technology, digital reconstructions, sonar scans, forensic analyses. Some have tried to trace weather patterns, others studied the psychology of long-sea voyages. None have found a smoking gun. The case remains unsolved, one of history's most tantalizing maritime enigmas. But perhaps the reason the Mary Celeste continues to fascinate us is not because of what we know, but because of what we don't. It's the emptiness, the absence, the silence that makes this story so haunting. No mayday, no message in a bottle, no survivors to tell the tale. Just a ship, perfectly afloat, perfectly alone. In the end, maybe that's the most unsettling truth of all, that something so catastrophic could happen to an ordinary crew on an ordinary voyage, with no warning, no trace, and no explanation. So what do you think happened on that lonely stretch of ocean in 1872? Was it panic over leaking fumes, a freak accident? Or something stranger, something we may never fully understand? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the sea's greatest unsolved mysteries, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for more historical stories, mysteries, and true crime tales. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious and stay safe.